Hello Pixies, and welcome to or back to my channel. It's Zoe here, and today we are doing an accumulated book haul. So these books have been accumulated since the end of December to now, which it's almost the end of it's almost the end of January, beginning of February. And I have quite a few books here for you, but to be clear, I don't really book shop a lot. I don't have a lot of money. There's Christmas in December. I got some rebuys, which I'll get into in a second. And I also have books for my birthday, because my birthday's in January, and books I got after my birthday using like a gift card for my birthday. So yeah, that's why there's so many books. So it'll probably be a long time before I do another accumulated book haul, because I don't acquire that many books in a year. And just as a little disclaimer, I am in no way bragging. This is just sharing with you what I have received, and if you want to see me read any of these things, you can leave it down in the comments below, because I would love to know what you guys want to see. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. The first thing I want to talk about are my two rebuys. And it's like, why would you rebuy a book? I didn't get rid of these books, to be clear, but when I moved into this apartment, there was an issue with the storage unit that I had rented, and there was a giant leak which destroyed about 95 of my books. So I've been slowly getting those books back into my collection, because like either I read them and I loved them, or I really wanted to read them. And I have one for each. So my rebuy, which is a book I love that I absolutely know I need to have, is Mysteries of Thorn Manor. Sorcery of Thorns is one of my favorite books ever. I love that book so much. I read this companion novella last year and I loved it. It's such a good story, and it just rounds out some of the edges of it. Was it necessary? No. But did I have a great time? Yes. And does it make sense? Also yes. And my other repurchase was Ferris by Gail Carson Levine. Gail Carson Levine has written a lot of my childhood favorite books. The Two Princesses of Amar, some of the Pixie Hollow aspects. She's the one who invented Pixie Hollow, basically. So I want to read more of her stuff. I don't think she's published anything in a while, but I believe that this is like a Snow White retelling. Or maybe just loosely inspired by. It says, "The fairy Lucinda has once again given a dreadful gift. This time is a mysterious magical mirror. The gift is disastrous when it falls in the hands of Azza, who never looks in the mirror if she can help it. In the kingdom of Athoria, Azza is most definitely not the fairest of them all. Many spurn her, many scoff at her, she keeps out of sight. But in the land of singers, Azza has her own gift, one she's come by without fairy invention. A voice that can do almost anything, a voice that captivates all who hear it. In Antonio Castle, Mary Prince Ajori is drawn to, and vain Queen Evie wants to use it for her own ends. Queen Evie would do anything to remain the fairest in the land." It sounds exactly like something I would like, so I'm glad that I have it back, so now I can read it. And if I don't like it, I'll resell it. It's not that big of a deal. So those two books are my two repurchases, and yeah, so now let's just continue. The only other two books I accumulated before Christmas were, I found East, actually at the same used bookstore. I found Ferris, and this is by Edith Patu. And I actually read this book early on in January. I really ended up enjoying it. It's one of my favorite books I've read so far this year. And the damage wasn't actually from the used bookstore, it was from my cat, because I put it in a drawer when I was sleeping and I picked the wrong drawer because she opened it and got to it, because she's like that. But this is the first in a duology, which is a retelling of East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is a great fairy tale, mythology tale, whatever you want to call it. I love it. I also own West, which is why I picked up East, because I found West at a library book sale originally, and then actually I just traded the copy I had with my mom, because she had a paperback version of West that she found at a used bookstore, so I gave her the library hardcover, so maybe she can find East in hardcover, so then hers will match. That's a long-winded explanation, but I loved this book, really glad that I got it. And I also got Winter Song, and Winter Song is by S.J. Jones, and I would also say this is a favorite book of mine. I am going to be rereading it rather soon. I'm pretty excited about it. And this is about Liesel, and Liesel lives in, like, I believe in Germany, but I don't quite remember. And she is a musician, but because of the state of the world, she can't really practice being a musician, but she is helping her younger brother, who is also a prodigy, become a musician. But when she was rather young, she made a deal with the Goblin King that she would one day be his bride, but she doesn't really take this seriously or remember this. So when the Goblin King comes for her, she says no, and he takes her sister instead, so now she must go to the world of the underground to rescue her. And this is a really great book. This is part of a duology, and part of the reason I need to reread this is because I need to finish the duology, because I've never read Shadow Song. But to be completely honest, this feels like a standalone novel, so I'm a little nervous that the duology might be like, why do you continue it? It was good as it was. But I am excited to see how it continues, and I'm really, really looking forward to reading this one once again. Now let's get into the books that I got for Christmas. First up, this book is from my partner, the rest are from my family, but this is from my partner, and this is Fire by Christian Kishore, and this is the second book in the Graceling saga. I talk about Graceling multiple times on my channel. We follow, what's her name? Katza. We follow Katza, and Katza is niece to the king. She's just supposed to live a privileged life, but unfortunately when she's around 8 years old, her grace reveals itself, and she has the grace to kill. And with that grace revealed, she is basically put into service by the king as his personal assassin. And it's like a romance. I call this like a classic YA fantasy series. I've read at least the first 3 before, and I really, really loved them. But I don't own physical copies. I own them on my Nook, which I don't even know if it would work even if I plugged it in, to be completely honest. No, I like these, and I'm really excited to reread them. And I only got the first Graceling in the new covers, so this is the second one. Pretty excited about it. And also, another sequel of a series, I have The Hemlock Queen by Hannah Witten. Hannah Witten wrote For the Wolf and For the Throne. I love that duology. Once again, one of my favorites of all time. And I own The Foxglove King, and I liked it, but I'm kind of having iffy feelings about it. It's not nearly as special as For the Wolf. The For the Wolf, whatever, the Wilderwood duology or whatever. There's a lot of Wildwood titles. Like, people need to stop with that. But this is the sequel to The Foxglove King, so we obviously start off where we left off, and I want to see if it gets better or if I'm just going to stop reading the series, to be honest. Next up, I have The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. And Ava Reid wrote Juniper and Thorn, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And she also wrote A Study in Drowning, which I read last year, which I also absolutely loved. And this, I believe, was her debut novel, and I'm really, really interested in it. It's about this woman, and she doesn't have a power, and the rest of the village doesn't really like her. So when these soldiers of the king come requesting for the king requesting a blood sacrifice, they all offer her up, but when they're traveling with the soldiers, some things happen. All the soldiers are dead or she's separated from them, except for one, and then I believe an unlikely romance assumes. So I'm excited to read this. I've been wanting to read it for a while, and I thought maybe I would read it this winter, but I'm thinking maybe end of the year winter or like fall for this book. That's what I'm thinking for reading it, but I'm really quite excited to read this one because I want to read everything Ava Reid writes, basically. This is Don't Let the Forest End by C.G. Drews, and I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and the cover is so beautiful, and I am so excited. It's about this boarding school, and the main character's name is Andrew, and Andrew is best friends with Thomas, but things have been kind of off with Thomas lately. But Andrew figures out his secret is that Thomas has been drawing monsters, and they've been coming to life in the woods beyond the school. But so now they're like fighting monsters. That was a horrible explanation, but I'm really, really excited about this book. Like, it just sounds so interesting, and I'm excited. Now this one has green sprayed edges, which also is like, ooh, pretty. And it also has beautiful end papers. Like, everything about it's pretty. It sounds like kind of gothic, dark type of book. And on the back it says, Thomas had no idea that Andrew would do anything for him, protect him, lie for him, kill for him. And then also it has like such beautiful artwork on the back. Like, I wouldn't be upset if this was like the front of the book, but I've been intrigued by it before it even came out, so now I'm really excited that I own it so I can read it. Next up is a book that I've already read, but unfortunately don't have a video for, and that is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I liked this book, but it wasn't like great, or even it wasn't like my absolute favorite or even great in my opinion. Oops, my bookmark fell out. But it's good that I found it. Anyway, this is a reimagining of the tale of Carmilla, and Carmilla is like one of the OG vampire stories. In this we follow Laura, and Laura has just started going to this college, and she's been accepted into the prestigious writing program. But everyone in the writing program flocks to Carmilla, who is the prestigious professor's favorite. And they end up in a rivalry and centered around this professor. And then we are taken into the world of vampires. This starts very dark academic, and then it really gets it more into like vampire horror romance. It's a major switch. I wish it was a bit better balanced, but it is a good time. There's a whole lot of trigger warnings in the front, or like what this book contains. So like, you might want to look that up if you're interested in that, because there's some things I didn't even really like, but I can't even be mad because it's listed at the front. So yeah, not saying this is a bad book, but just not my absolute favorite. And then I have two books by the same author, and these are both by Alison Saft. I have A Fragile Engagement, which is so beautiful, and I also have what I believe is her debut novel, which is Down Comes the Night. I read A Dark and Drowning Tide last year, and I absolutely loved it. And she has another book that is releasing in just a few days that I'm also really, really excited about. And I also want to read A Far Wilder Magic. I've been wanting to read A Fragile Engagement since I've like seen that it was going to exist. Down Comes the Night, I've never seen anybody talk about, but it sounds so good. And like on the top at the front, it says, "Love makes monsters of us all." And I'll just read you the description because I can't remember the descriptions for all these books, okay? He saw the darkness in her magic. She saw the magic in his darkness. Ren Sutherland's reckless use of magic has cost her everything. She's been dismissed from the Queen's Guard and separated from her best friend, the girl she loves. So when a letter arrives from a reclusive lord asking Ren to come to his estate, Colwick Hall, to cure his servant mysterious illness, she seizes her chance to redeem herself. The mansion is crumbling, icy winds haunt the caved-in halls, and Ren's eccentric host forbids her from leaving her room after dark. Worse, her patient isn't a servant at all, but Hall's Cavendish, the infamous Reaper of Versia and her kingdom's sworn enemy. He also came to Colwick Hall for redemption, but the secrets in the estate may lead them both to their deaths. With sinister forces at work, Ren and Hall realize they'll have to join together if they have any hope of saving their kingdoms. But as Ren circles closer to the nefarious truth behind Hall's illness, they realize they have no escape from the monsters within the mansion. All they have is each other and a startling desire that could be their downfall. That sounds like everything I could want. So I'm really excited to read this. And obviously, I'm also really, really excited about Fragile Engagement, which will be in a Does It Compare video later this year. And the next category are books that I got for my birthday. Once again, this book is from my partner, and that is Bitter Blue by Christian Kishore, and this is the third book in the Graceling saga. And these books are just so beautiful. Like, are you kidding me? I love the redesigned covers. I really, really do. And I also received, and the next two books are from my brother, and they're both on my 2025 TBR. And this is The Five and Wakes, which is the first book in the Expanse. And this is a very large science fiction novel, because me and my brother have a deal that if I read The Five and Wakes, then he will read Throne of Glass. So I think the original deal was ACOTAR, but then I changed my mind because I generally think he would enjoy Throne of Glass more than ACOTAR. So yeah, and The Five and Wakes, it says, "Welcome to the future. Humanity has colonized the solar system, Mars, the moon, and the asteroid belt and beyond, but the stars are still out of our reach. Jim Holden is XO of an ice miner, making runs from the rings of Saturn to the mining stations of the belt. When he and his crew stumble upon a derelict ship, the Scopely, they find themselves in possession of a secret they never wanted, a secret that someone is willing to kill for, and kill on a scale unfathomable to Jim and his crew. War is brewing in the system unless he can find out who left the ship and why. Detective Miller is looking for a girl, one girl in a system of billions, but her parents have money and money talks. When the trail leads him to the Scopely and rebel sympathizer Holden, he realizes that this girl may be the key to everything." Sounds like there's a bit of a mystery plot line, but also science fiction, but also very much like not so distant science fiction where everything in the world has been solved or anything. I'm nervous about this book. This book is freaking huge also, but I'm also excited about it. It's a bit out of my comfort zone, but that's always a good thing. The Five and Wakes. And the other book that he got me was Murtagh, the special edition of Murtagh by Christopher Paolini. This is a continuation of the Inheritance cycle. And right now, as I'm filming this, I'm currently doing a reading vlog where I'm rereading the entire Inheritance cycle so I can read this book. I really should have put the entire Inheritance cycle on my yearly TBR so I could feel a bit accomplished, because this book is, but the rest of them aren't. But I really, really need the refresher before I read this. And I'm really enjoying myself, and I'm really excited to get to this book because I really do like Murtagh's character, and I'm excited to have a book entirely in his perspective. It's just, I'm really, really excited to read this. And yeah, and this is such a beautiful special edition. Like, it's really beautiful, and the sprayed edges are also really, really nice. Like, who wouldn't like that? Let's be honest. Next up, I have a duology, and that is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. Don't know the duology's names, but I've been really, really wanting to read this. This is like gothic fantasy books, and I'm really, really excited about them. I got the Barnes & Noble special editions of both of them. They are beautiful and really, really interesting, and also the sprayed edges are really, really nice. I really enjoy them. And from what I know, these are gothic fantasy, and in this first book we follow the main character who has a monster living in her head, but she needs it to protect her. What I also know is that this has a very, very unique magic system, which I believe is based off of some kind of cards. I think it's tarot cards, so I'm really interested to see how this works out. I remember when this book came out years ago, and everyone who read it said they didn't like it, but then this book became mega popular last year with other people who I guess didn't read it originally. So I'm really excited to read this and give it a try, and also I just want more and more gothic fantasy in my life. I really enjoy the gothic fantasies I've read, so I'm excited to have more in my life, and these will be in a Does It Compare video very, very soon. Or at least One Dark Window will be. I don't know when I'll get to Two Twisted Crowns. And the last book I received for my birthday as like a present is The Woods at Midwinter by Susanna Clark. I don't know anything about this other than it's a little novella, and I love novellas. I think we should have more of them, and that it's kind of like Christmassy, so I'll be reading this like more so towards the end of the year. But it's better to have it now so I have it for the end of the year than to get it at the end of the year and be like, well, it's Christmassy, so I can't read it till next year. So I'm really looking forward to reading this at the end of the year. And on my birthday, we went to the bookstore, and these are the books that I got from the bookstore. So first and foremost, I got my hands on a couple days early, but Barnes & Noble does a thing apparently where sometimes they have special deals where they can put out things slightly earlier, and that is A Crown So Silver by Lyra Celine. I loved A Feather So Black. In my favorite books of 2024 video, A Feather So Black is like in the top 5 of the year, quite literally. It's so good, and I've been dying to go back into this world. In A Feather So Black, we follow Fia, and Fia is a changeling, and she was traded with the queen's real daughter, while her daughter was brought into the realm of the Fae. But no one can go retrieve them because all the gates between the Fae realm and the human realm have been closed due to war, which is why they took all these girls as changelings. But the queen has decided to keep Fia, but not only claim that she is her daughter, but also turn her into her spy master. But at the beginning of the book, Fia's mom discovers that there is a 13th gate into the Fae realm that was not closed, and so she requests that Fia go into the Fae realm in order to retrieve her daughter. But Fia has to take along with her sister's quote-unquote betrothed, who she is madly in love with. But when she gets to the Fae realm, not everything is as it seems. This is the first book, A Feather So Black, that is the direction romantasy should go in. It's so good. I'm so excited to read this one. Like, I want to read it right now, but like, I committed to Aragon. I committed to the Inheritance Cycle. That's the only reason I'm not reading this right now. But I really want to read this really soon. I'm so excited about this. I am so excited about this. Like, you have absolutely no idea. It will definitely get read before March is over. Like, would I want to read it right now? Yes. But some things sometimes don't work out. And I also picked up The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. Yeah. And in this world, what I know about this is that in this world, if you have 13 children, the 13th child is for the gods. And that they have extraordinary abilities, which is why they're for the gods. And so once they reach a certain age, they are separated from their family and taken to like the realm or city of the gods. I don't know. I just know that it sounds really interesting. I really love House of Salt and Sorrow. That's a really good book. I really enjoyed that. I haven't read House of Roots and Ruin yet, but I do have high hopes for this one, and I'm hoping to read this soon as well. Then, as a buy one, get one 50% off deal, I found 2 books for those that I was really interested in, and the first one is Curious Tides. It's got purple sprayed edges, really pretty, and I'm just going to read you the back of this one as well. After a treacherous night at the Dovermere Sea Caves leaves her with a strange dark magic and survivor's guilt, lunar mage and prestigious Aldrin student Emery believes her secrets drowned with her classmates until their bodies start washing ashore. With the help of her reclusive student, Baz Brisden, Emery must seek the truth behind the drownings and the cult-like secret society she's convinced her classmates were involved in before she's next. Thankfully, Baz is well versed in the deadly nature of darker magic. Born under an eclipse, a rare and dark perversion of the sacred lunar magical cycle, Baz has limited the use of his abilities in fear of collapsing, a gruesome fate that awaits all reckless eclipse-born practitioners. His control threatens to slip when he helps Emery hone her gifts, getting closer in an attempt to uncover what happened to his sister who drowned at Dovermere and was Emery's best friend. When a tentative bond forms between the two over their shared loss, Emery's investigation into the secret society leads her down a path more dangerous than any collapsing. She's not the only one seeking answers, and when her magic draws the society's attention, she finds their thirst for power strangely alluring, until she realizes it is her that they thirst for. This sounds really, really good. Who doesn't love a magical academy with a darker edge, cult-like stuff, mystery? I've been really interested in this book since I first saw it like over a year ago at Barnes & Noble, and I'm excited to finally have it. Obviously, you don't need to own every book you want to read. I definitely do not, but I'm excited to have it nonetheless. And next up is another book on my 2025 TBR, and that is Dark Rise, which this is like more that classic YA fantasy light versus dark. The dark was once defeated, but the light is kind of diminishing, and things are about to start back up again because of Will. And that's all I'm going to say by it. I will say the front is blurred by V.E. Schwab, and it says I simply couldn't put it down. And that gives me even higher hopes than I had already. Like I said before, this is on my 2025 TBR because I'm so very interested in this book. Those are all the books I got during my birthday, but I also received a gift card for my birthday, and these are the 3 books that I got. The next book is one that I've been wanting to read for quite a while and that I've been interested in for quite a while, and that is Wildwood Dancing by Juliet Marlier. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and there's a toad companion and a fairy realm and a romance that probably isn't going to end very well, as well as dark secrets. And this is a bit of an older fantasy. This actually came out in 2006. It's part of a duology, and I'm just really excited about this one. I love face stuff. This cover is, once again, absolutely beautiful. Like, she's beautiful. And I'm really excited to read this. And like I said before, I will be reading it soon. And next up is a book that I don't think a lot of people have read on Goodreads. It has 117 ratings and only like 52 reviews. Like, that is so small. This book came out last year. It might be self-published, I don't quite remember, and this is a debut novel, and I believe the author said that this is going to be a part of a 7-book series, which are fantasy romance, and this is The Divine Shallows, which obviously is also so beautiful. And in this book we follow Elira and Elwyn. Elira is the firstborn daughter of this family. I believe they are royalty, and she is supposed to be born with the moon goddess's markings because the moon goddess delivers markings upon people, and if they have those markings, then they are allowed to participate in her divine trial. And if you participate in this trial and pass it, you can become a sorcerer or sorceress, wizard, warlock. I don't remember quite exactly what it is. And that's a very prestigious thing that these fae want, because everyone in this book is fae, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. But Elira was scorned by the moon goddess. It was not given the markings. And everyone kinda has treated her terribly since. And Elwyn is her younger sister, I believe, and Elwyn was given the markings, so now she is in line for the throne instead of Elira, because Elira is older, she is supposed to be queen, but now that's going to be Elwyn's duty, and she's really not very happy about it. She would much prefer Elira to have it. But when the time for the divine trial starts, the moon goddess has done something that she's never done before, and she has said to Elira that she is allowed to participate in her divine trial, which has never ever happened before. And so we follow the two sisters and what they want and what they desire, and as they figure out the world. I know there's a lot of world building stuff in this book from what I read in the reviews, but I'm really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to reading this, and from what I can tell, I think I might have found a hidden gem. And there's also dragons, as you can probably tell by the cover, and like, who doesn't want that? And it says at the bottom here, As a lyre and Elwyn embark on their separate yet interwoven journeys, they begin to uncover unsettling truths about the ancient realms of Narromere. Secrets unravel, tradition is challenged, love is tested, and the course of destiny is rewritten. I'm so excited about this book. I am beyond excited about this book. And the very last book of this accumulated book haul is The Witch Would Not by Olivia Atwater. Olivia Atwater also wrote Half a Soul, which I absolutely loved and I believe is really popular, but I feel like no one has given The Witch Would Not a chance, even though this book has been out for a bit over a year now. And this is the first book of the Victorian Fairies series. And this is about Winifred, and Winifred is a governess, but the one she's in charge of is suddenly replaced with a changeling, and his father doesn't want to listen. And so now Winifred must go on a journey in order to reclaim the young lord that she is in charge from. I don't know, it sounds really, really cool. I've been really interested in this since it came out. I'm really quite excited about it, and the first line is so good. Like, listen to this. The 100 eyes of Witchwood Manor loomed above, grinning through the torrential rain. I'm already sold. And once again, beautiful. Books have gotten so pretty lately, and I'm so excited about it. And I'm really, really excited about this book. And this was blurred by Alex Iharo, which I've loved everything I've read by her so far. It says, a sharp and beautiful gothic romance. Gothic fantasy once again. Wanted more in that in my life. So I'm really, really excited to have this. And while no one on BookTube has talked about it, like, I believe maybe they should have, because I'm expecting nothing but good things from this book. And with that is all the books that I have accumulated over the past couple of months. Once again, I probably won't be doing one of these videos for quite a long time now, because I don't really accumulate that many books quickly. It's just an exception because of Christmas and my birthday being fairly close together. I'm super excited about all of these books, and it just makes me want to read everything, but I just can't read everything at once. If there's any of those books you want specifically to see in the video, let me know down in the comments below. I want to read things that you guys want to see. If you would like this video, I would really, really appreciate it. I am a tiny channel, and it would really help me out and feel encouraged a lot. And also, if you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and do that. I would really, really love to have you here. And yeah, that's kind of it. So I guess I'm signing off now. Okay, bye.